For people unfamiliar with you, please tell us your name, what your background is, and really what you've been doing for the last 40 years.
My name is Dr. Michael Clapper. I'm a Western-trained physician. I've been a primary care doctor for the past 47 years. The first 10 years of my career was spent doing acute care medicine, emergency rooms, operating rooms, urgent care clinics. But for the past 35 years, my focus has been trying to keep people off of operating tables and out of hospitals by focusing on what they are eating, because the majority of diseases that plague most people in the West are the result of our standard Western diet, and changing the diet makes people healthy, and that's been my focus in recent years. After 47 years in primary care, I've learned a tremendous amount of practical medicine, and with the last 8 years at True North Health Center, I've really become quite adept at using applied nutritional medicine to really make profound changes in people's bodies. You get them on a whole food, plant-based diet, and the changes that happen are remarkable. The obesity starts to melt away, the arteries open up, the high blood pressure comes down, the joints stop hurting, the asthmatic lungs stop wheezing, the migraine headaches go away, the colitis settles down, the type 2 diabetes clears out, and people turn into normal, healthy human beings who don't need a lot of pills and potions and procedures from people like me. Well, this is such a powerful modality. This changes the face of medicine. Yet, our young medical students are never taught this at all. It's never mentioned. To ask the patient what they're eating, it never even enters the medical history. And this is such a theft, I feel, from the patients, because this is a chance to no longer have diabetes, no longer have high blood pressure. These diseases go away. And it's a theft from the young students and from the practicing physician not to have this remarkable tool in their armamentarium, because, well, I put up a slide in my presentations to the medical students who I show them diabetes, high blood pressure, and colitis, and say, you want to cure these people or don't you? These are all reversible diseases, but I hope you're not going to settle for disease management. I don't want to just manage chronic disease. I want to cure these people, and it comes down to what they're eating. And I tell the young students, I've been going around to the medical schools and talking to the young medical students and saying, before you order another $1,000 scan or another $500 set of lab tests, ask your patient what they ate yesterday. And if it's full of burgers and buffalo wings and pepperoni pizzas, that's why they're sitting in front of you, overweight, hypertensive, diabetic, clogged up, and inflamed. Start with that. Send the patient to the plant-based dietitian down the hall and let her start working with them and see them back in a couple of weeks. But start focusing on what the patient is eating. To practice medicine as if what our patients are eating has no effect on these diseases is bankrupt. It's scientifically laughable. And to bring this into everyday medical practice, we have started a campaign called Moving Medicine Forward. And I'm working in conjunction with the Plant Pure Nation folks to raise money to send me around to the medical students and to medical schools of the country and give the young students the lecture I wish someone had given me 50 years ago, that you're not going to be seeing leprosy and smallpox, folks. It's diabetes and obesity from what your patients are eating. And so if people would like to help me, they can go to my website, drclapper.com, doctorklaper.com, and click on Moving Medicine Forward. That's our initiative. You can find out how you can help, not only with financial support, but if you know a medical student at a school or you know a faculty member who's on the faculty at a medical school, give us their name and number. We'll contact them and see if they want to have me come into their medical school and give this lecture and start a nutrition interest group to keep this information going and to get this incorporated into their own medical school curriculum so I don't have to keep coming back and giving this lecture. So it's time for a new era in medicine to dawn, and that's what we're doing with our Moving Medicine Forward initiative, and we would appreciate all the support people would feel in their hearts to give.
What are the benefits to water fasting?
Water fasting is an ancient technique that probably found its way into the human practice of necessity. A million years ago, back on the African savanna, You could visualize that our ancient tribal band of foraging hominid ancestors would frequently run into 4 or 5 day spells where there were no berries on the bushes and you had no choice. You were fasting for a few days till you found something else to eat. And so these intermittent fasts were probably the routine back in ancient times. And our body knows how to slip into this gear where no carbohydrate calories are coming in. So it switched to burning the stored fat on our body. And this is accompanied by just drinking water only. When this happens, after about 48, 72 hours of burning fat tissue, the body slips into this remarkable gear. It wants to conserve energy that's already stored on the body. So it doesn't waste energy in running inflammatory reactions. So we see inflammation settle down, and the arthritis folks with their sore joints notice that by day 5 or 10 on a water fast that their joints feel much better. The psoriasis folks with those red fiery patches of hard skin, those start fading away. Inflammation subsides on a water fast. Even some cancer growths have been known to slow down. If the body thinks it's starving to death, why waste energy running a malignant tumor? And so cancer growth also is dialed down. The body makes these molecules called sirtuins that appear in the cells and turn off cancer growth. So the body is in this remarkable state. It's looking for cellular debris in the cells to throw into the metabolic furnace to burn, so it cleans up scrap DNA and scrap proteins and carbohydrates. The phenomenon is called autophagy, and that's the body cleaning its own cells out. So spending 5 days, 7 days in this remarkable state of ketosis really is it's like taking your car out on the freeway and burning the carbon off the spark plugs. It really gets the system working much better. And then when you start eating again and all those new, all the phytonutrients and the fruits and vegetables wash through your cells that have been fasting, they respond beautifully. The stem cells function better. It's like taking yourselves to the car wash, and you come out the other side much more functional. So it's a remarkable state, and we're only just starting to learn about it. We're first turning the eye of science onto the fasting phenomenon. We've got a lot more to learn, but it's clearly going to be a useful modality in treating many, many diseases. Stay tuned. We're at the early stages of fasting. Fascinating field.
Typically, how much water would one take in during a water fast over those 5 days?
Right, yes. During the water fast, it's important to have an ample water intake, but you don't want to go overboard. People think, I have to drink a big glass of water every hour. No, you don't, and you get water intoxicated doing that. The general rules that we use at the True North Health Center, where I worked for 8 years and supervised several thousand people fasting, we encourage them to take a 16-ounce glass of water, 4 to 6 of those a day. Or the general rule is listen to your thirst plus 1 more glass. Just keep sipping an ample amount, but that's all you really need to do. Your thirst will guide you.
What are the negatives to water fasting?
Water fasting, water-only fasting, is a powerful modality, and it is a stress on the body. And most people can handle it very well, and they come out the other side much better for it. But there's some folks who really should not do a water fast. People who have brittle type 1 diabetes, it's not safe for them to fast. People who have kidney failure, fasting is hard on the kidneys, and we always check their blood tests, make sure their kidneys are functioning well, and if the kidney function is not up to snuff, we don't let them do a water fast. People with wasting diseases, advanced cancer patients, patients with ALS or multiple sclerosis, a long water fast depletes your muscle glycogen. It kind of can turn people into a dish rag. And we expect that in normal folks. But if someone already has a muscular disease, a muscular dystrophy or ALS, we wouldn't want to do that to them. So there's a select group of folks who have a medical contraindication to fasting. But by and large, most folks who are generally healthy are able to do a water fast. However, all medications and supplements get potentiated on a fast. They get more powerful. And so we don't let people fast who are taking powerful medications. If you're taking beta blockers and lisinopril, you shouldn't do a water fast. You should do a juice cleanse instead. So being on medications that you can't stop, we stop all medicines during a water fast, except thyroid, which we drop down by 1/2. And if you're on medications like steroids or SSRI for depression that you just can't stop suddenly, then those folks shouldn't do a water fast either. So it's a matter of selectively choosing the right patients that are the safest. And if you do that, very few folks have any serious problems on a water fast. On a water fast, however, most everybody can do a 3-day water fast at home, up to a 5-day water fast if they're experienced. But any longer than 5 days, you really should be in a facility like True North Health Center in Santa Rosa, California, where they hover over you and watch you like a hawk. Blood tests are done every week. The intern knocks on your door twice a day, morning, afternoon, checks your vital signs, how you're doing, any nausea, any headache. They hover over you, and at the slightest sign that the body's not doing well, then they stop the fast. So the serious business that should be managed by professionals if you're going beyond 5 days. So there is an art to supervising a fast, and you don't want to put yourself in any danger. You want to be alone in a house on day 10 on a water fast and get lightheaded and faint or start vomiting. You want someone around who knows what they're doing. So anything longer than 5 days, get some supervision.